Good evening to you. Welcome along to the Clarets Match Live, our first live Burnley match this year, this calendar year for 2017. And what a game it promises to be. It's between the reigning champions of the Championship against the current holders of the Premier League, who quite frankly are making an absolute dog's dinner of their title defence. In fact, they're just 5 points above the relegation zone. Burnley, though, firmly anchored in mid-table, are after fourth best home record in the Premier League, which is got to be some achievement, isn't it, considering where we've been in the last 12 months or so. And this should be a humdinger of a game. And Jordan says hello, I'm back, and like Jordan, if you'd like to comment during the night, you can. We also have well, the music has stopped now, but we can focus now on the real thing that matters here, which is the football, of course. And what a game this promises to be here at the King Power Stadium tonight. And if you'd like to comment on the game, Burnley fans, or any Leicester City fans who are looking in, then you're more than welcome to join us until about 10 to 9 tonight, where we'll be on air. And also, I've got to give you one or two bits of transfer news from earlier today, because it's also transfer deadline day. It's a cold atmosphere inside Turf Moor tonight, but it's a white-hot atmosphere. The rain's come down in steroids, but the lights are firmly on, and Leicester won't enjoy this. Burnley have already signed Ashley Westwood for an undisclosed fee from Aston Villa. I have the two lineups in front of me, but I'll give you them in a second or two. What I can tell you is we're in for a very interesting night here tonight, because the man in charge tonight, the referee, is Mike Dean from Cheshire, and we know what's been going on with that certain official this evening, or certainly so far this season. He's what the newspapers have been dubbing him the celebrity referee, if you like, and I know he's not universally popular, certainly in these parts, when he gave Blackburn Rovers a controversial penalty 7 years ago, a decision which ultimately helped Burnley go down that season. And let me be honest with you, I was not an happy bunny at that particular time. And yes, so Ashley Westwood has come, but he's obviously not eligible to play tonight. Obviously he hasn't got the international clearance you would expect, but there's one or two changes. There's quite a number of changes here. Have you seen the rumour that Liverpool have bid £70 million on Aubameyang? Do you think it's true? Personally, I don't. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. If the proper sources are to be believed, until he comes up on the Liverpool website, don't believe anything else. I'm taking that stance with Burnley at the moment. There's been rumours around that Burnley are going to sign Robbie Brady for £13 million. Is it on? Is it off? Sean Dyche has also has been sounding out strikers as well. I mean, a lot can happen between now and 11 o'clock. There's still a lot of time, but the next 90 minutes or so, it's all about the football here. I'm sure one or two people will keep their beady eye across the games for us. And Burnley, of course, had a very, very favourable draw in the FA Cup 5th round yesterday. In case you missed it, they actually got Lincoln City at home. No disrespect to Danny Cowley and his boys, but they're going to find it absolutely tough going in February when that comes to time. In fact, I'll remind you of the full draw, 5th round draw. So obviously the Clarets have got Lincoln City. Fulham played Tottenham in the All-London affair. Blackburn, our deadly rivals, have got Manchester United. That's going to be a struggle for Blackburn, to be fair. Sutton's reward for that terrific win on Leeds, you heard on my YouTube channel just 2 days ago, is a home match with Arsenal, and they are determined to have that game at Gander Green Lane, and one hopes that that does come to fruition. Middlesbrough get Oxford United, so they've got a favourable draw, but watch Oxford United. Middlesbrough have struggled against the lower league opposition so far in the Cups this season, so Oxford will go there brimming with confidence, already taking out Newcastle, of course. Wolves' reward for a terrific victory at Anfield on Saturday is a home match with Chelsea at Molineux. Huddersfield Town going well in the Championship against Manchester City, and Millwall, who who scored a magnificent victory over Watford on Sunday. They will play the winners of Derby County and Leicester City, who face off in 7 to 8 days' time in a replay. Still waiting the teams there. The Leicester fans have travelled in a fair numbers today. Also, we'll keep you abreast of what's going on in another 6 games going on. We've got Arsenal at the Emirates against Watford, Bournemouth down on the south coast taking on Crystal Palace, Middlesbrough against West Bromwich Albion up at the weather side, Sunderland further up against Tottenham, Swansea plays Southampton, and the big game, arguably one of the big games I suppose, that kicks off at 8 o'clock, and that's actually live on TV at the moment, Liverpool-Chelsea, but we'll keep you up to date with that as that goes along. But all the other games, all the other 6 games, including our game, kick off in just over 5 minutes from now. As I say, we'll keep you up to date what goes on there. Liverpool score prediction, asked Jordan. I wouldn't like to call it, to be honest. Chelsea are in very good form. I think it could end 1-0. But anyway, back to the game we're going to concentrate on. We'll keep you updated with Liverpool versus Chelsea during the night. But it's all about Burnley and Leicester City, both the champions of the Championship, proud champions of the Championship, who won the lady here last season against the unexpected Premier League champions of 2016. There's a great atmosphere. There's quite an empty number of seats around. Maybe people are just getting stuck in traffic. It's always gridlocked around this time in Burnley. Burnley, of course, in their claret and blue. Last time these two teams met at Turf Moor was a heartbreaking one for Burnley. They had a penalty after 60 minutes through Matt Taylor. He hit the post, and then a minute later Jamie Vardy tapped in from about 2 yards to give Leicester a victory and put them on the springboard to actually getting out of the relegation zone that season, when it looked for all the while as if they were going to be doomed to relegation. And then the rest, as they say, it was history. Burnley obviously ended up getting relegated, but came back and won the Championship in terrific style 12 months after that. So let's have a look at the 2 lineups, shall we? Starting, of course, with Tom Heaton in goal. The back 4, Matt Lawton, Michael Keane, Ben Mee and Stephen Ward. So same back 4 as usual, which dispels the Keane to Everton rumours for now. Boyd, Barton, Henrik and Defoe on the midfield foursome. And up front, Ashley Barnes and Andre Gray get the nod. On the substitutes bench for the Clarets, it's John Flanagan, Sam Vokes, Johan Gudmundsson, Tendar Weaker, James Tarkowski, Scott Arfield, and substitute goalkeepers Paul Robinson. For Leicester City, let's see how they line up. They're going to line up 4-4-2 themselves, with Kasper Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Danny Simpson, Wes Morgan, Robert Hoof and Christian Fuchs. 2 midfield, O'Brighton, Drinkwater, Wilfred Nadidi and Damari Gray are actually the midfielders. Mahrez will actually play in behind Jamie Vardy today. So basically it's 4-4-2, but Gray is now going to play on the left as rather than Mahrez. So they've obviously changed the formations drastically there. Joey Barton making his first start since coming back to Burnley. His last few appearances have come from the substitutes bench. Of course, he came off the bench in the last home match here to score a free kick which sunk Southampton good and proper. They'll have to be wary of Mahrez, of course. But Leicester have been really off colour. That Championship defence hasn't really took off, and they're in danger really of losing their Premier League status. They could be the first defending championships in Premier League history, could end up potentially being relegated. So there is the referee, Mike Dean, the so-called celebrity ref, dubbed out by the English media due to some of his selfish refereeing. He has shown a lot of red cards this season, And he has tried to stamp down on pushing and shoving, but he has made high-profile mistakes. His two assistants are Ayusen and D. Eaton, and the fourth official is Paul Tierney as we get underway then at Turf Moor. Burnley, as I say, in claret and blue, and they're going to attack the goal to the right-hand side. They like to attack the cricket field end, or the David Fishwick end, to give it its proper title. The original title was the cricket field. Tom Eaton in all blue goalkeeper's jersey, kicks clear with his right foot over the halfway line. Leicester all in blue, by the way. Eaton, for the record, wearing a light blue goalkeeper jersey. So it's the champions of the Championship against the champions of the Premier League. Well, they'll soon to be dethroned champions of the Premier League as Barnes tries to get an early shot in. He might break for Boyd on the edge of the area. Tries to play 1-2 with Grady, and then Boyd goes again, but the ball runs tenderly into the arms of Kasper Schmeichel, who made two stunning saves in actual fact. Last time these two sides met, he actually prevented an own goal from Robert Hoof in that 1-0 victory for them back in 2015 April. Burnley will be gunning for victory and revenge. Yes, it's a game well remembered from Matt Taylor, missing a penalty, and then 60 seconds later it came really back to haunt Burnley. It's Christian Fuchs for Leicester City in the all blue shirts. They've got a replay to come in the FA Cup on a week tomorrow I think, against Derby County at the King Power. They got away with a 2-2 draw on Friday night in that competition, and whoever wins that game next Wednesday will play Millwall at the New Den. Some reward that for winning that game, I tell you, because no team will want to go down to Millwall, especially the atmosphere it produced when they played Watford down there on Sunday at Cold Ball Lane. It's a really tough place to go. As Drinkwater gets it back to Wes Morgan. 2 minutes gone, still 0-0, but we will keep you up to date with the other scores as Keane wins another header. Chance here now in the penalty area for Damari Gray to pull the ball back, but it's hooked away brilliantly there by Matt Lawton, whose former colleague at Villa. Ashley Westwood has joined, as I say, in case you missed it earlier, for an undisclosed fee from Aston Villa, and I think he'll be a good signing to the middle of midfield. Of course, no Dean Marley now for the season for the Clarets, because he's now been ruled out as Christian Fuchs takes a throw. 10 yards from the edge of the Burnley penalty area, header flicked on. Referee spotted a bit of pushing by Robert Hoof, and a free kick to Burnley. As I say, we'll keep you updated with what's going on in the Premier League this evening. Of course, there's the old transfer deadline day as well. All games that have kicked off tonight, all at 0-0. Heated to sign with Liverpool. In your dreams, mate, in your dreams. He's a Burnley lad. He will not leave for Liverpool, I'm telling you now. Not in this window anyway. You can dream on. As Joey Barton knocks it long towards George Boyd, and then he takes it back to Jeff Henry, just inside the Leicester City half. Now Ben Mee has it to Stephen Ward. Ward turns nicely, and then Gray flicks it on there to Boyd. Boyd does well. Left hand side, and Drinkwater covering back, gets it back to Schmeichel in an all yellow goalkeeper's jersey tonight. Didn't even get it to the halfway line. You can keep saying that for all you want, Jordan, but he's not signing in this window because he's playing tonight. Here's Mark Albrighton, the former Aston Villa man, down the near side, the Leicester left-hand side, and he's away from Barton, and he's away from Lawton. He's got it towards the byline here, and he's beaten Lawton again for the second time, but Lawton sticks a leg out and gets the ball. Had to time that well, Matt Lawton, otherwise if he'd have mistimed that tackle, it would have made Mike Dean liable to give a penalty against him. So we did very well, but a good run there from Mark Albrighton there, and that could cause one or two troubles for the Clarets this evening. Let's have a long throw. Christian Fuchs to take. Long throw into the penalty area again. Good headers away there from Burnley. They've only lost 3 games, as I said, all season, but away from home it's been a different story. No wins yet from their 12 away games. They have picked up the 1 point, and that was at Old Trafford when the aforementioned Heaton made some stunning saves there at Old Trafford. And Fuchs again gets the crossing, and Heaton came, didn't really get a good purchase on it. Comes to Mahrez, shot was blocked. It might come for Damari Gray on the edge of the penalty area. Leicester turning up the power in the early stages. It's a bit worrying here for the Clarets, as Leicester aim to become only the 4th team to win this season. And the shot coming in again, and it was Robert Hooper who was trying the latter shot, and then Burnley somehow smuggled it away for a throw. But already Leicester showing their intent from the early doors there. Goalkeeper came, didn't get a good purchase on the punch, I have to say, Tom Heaton. And it's very rare he makes a mistake, the Burnley goalkeeper. And Lawson gets that way up there towards Andre Gray. Now the Leicester defence will have to be wary of his slippery pace, and of course Wes Morgan will fancy a nice little battle with Ashley Barnes. Here's Joey Barton in the middle of the midfield towards Henrik. Henrik turns but then finds Barton. Barton, who's in his 2nd spell, is signed on until at least the end of the season. Had a very tough time at Rangers, of course, when Rangers were beaten by Celtic. He had a little bust up with Andy Halliday, but I didn't think it was anything untoward, and then it was blown out by the proportions. And you know what the Scottish media are like up there, it's just, I think they blew it out of all proportion, but it's worked to Burnley's advantage, because it's given, when he knew he wasn't going to be going any further at Ibrox, Sean Dyche just said to Joey, come and train with us. And it all escalated from there. Of course there's the FA decision, of course, looming large. Well, we get and then there was match fixing allegations, which the FA are certainly looking into at the moment. Will we get a substantial game ban? But Sean Dyche has taken the risk, and so far so good at the moment, because Barton has been absolutely superb. Mr. Consistency, scored the winner, of course, coming off the bench in the last league game here against Southampton. They've had a decent cut run. They've beaten Sunderland and beaten Bristol City quite well. If you haven't seen the Stephen Defoe goal on Saturday, it's well worth a watch, and you can watch that. I'm sure you can watch it on YouTube and other social media platforms. It's well worth a watch. Here's Albrighton now down the Leicester left, but it's charged down, and it came off a Leicester player last, and it will be a Burnley throw, just over the halfway line in fact, so it's just inside the Leicester City half. And I'm watching Mike Dean like an absolute hawk tonight, because in the last few weeks his reputation has gone before him and making knee-jerk poor decisions. Well, God help him if he makes a decision wrong against Burnley tonight. Here's Matt Lawton for Burnley. Into Boyd on the right hand side. Infield to Henrik. Henrik again back out to the right hand side, and Lawton just gets it back into his own half. Keane has the possession and plays a ball out towards Stephen Ward. Chests it down beautifully, but Drinkwater read the situation quite well for Leicester. And Stephen Defoe playing out on the left hand side, remember, not his natural position. Here's Ashley Barnes. He'll fancy the physical battle, I should say, between himself and Robert Hoof there. There's been no goals in any of the other games, and Liverpool-Chelsea about 5 minutes away from kick-off. So there's been no goals up and down the country. There are championship games going on as well, but at the moment, there's been a goal at the Riverside, and it's good news from a Burnley's perspective, because West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead against Middlesbrough. The goal scorer in that game is James Morrison, 6 minutes gone. So James Morrison has scored the first Premier League goal of the evening, and it's come at the Riverside in favour of West Bromwich Albion. Here's Andre Gray towards Barnes. Barnes is onside. Hoof was looking for a flag which didn't come, and then Barnes shoots across the face. He wants a corner. I'm not sure if he's got in or not. I don't think he has. It's a goal kick, I think, to Leicester, but good work down the left hand side. Gray to the left hand side, and Barnes shoots. I'm not sure whether Schmeichel got a glove on that. I'm trying to see it from another angle. They're showing it from behind the goal here. I'm not sure. But it is a goal kick nevertheless. I don't think Schmeichel got a touch on it, but Burnley showing their attacking prowess. We're coming up towards 10 minutes gone. And Burnley and Leicester have each had, shall we say, half a chance each. It's a cold night for it all, so we've got plenty of cups of tea and coffee on supply here. And if you're settling down in front of the central heating or in front of the fire, turn it up, wrap up warm, and listen to Burnley versus Leicester here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Full audio commentary, plus any goals that go in. Certainly at the moment we've had one go in from the 7:45 kickoffs. There are 6 of them, and we're watching one of them here tonight. Liverpool and Chelsea kick off at Anfield at 8 o'clock. And I'm sure Jordan will be keeping his beady eyes on that particular game. Also, in one of his other comments, he's also keeping his campaign of me working for a certain organisation that does Match of the Day on a Saturday night. 2 B's and a C. And I don't mean essay results. Just to recap the substitutes for Burnley: Flanagan, Vokes, Goodmanson, Dawika, Tarkowski, Arfield and Robinson, Zila, Chilwell, Musa, King, Orazaki, Mendy and Beraloon. 12 minutes gone. Burnley 0, Leicester City 0. The champions of the Championship against the champions of the Premier League. Arsenal 0, Watford 1 is a scoreline. Tom Cleverley, a new sign and a fresh signing there. He's joined in January with the goal after 10 minutes. So Arsenal struggling at the Emirates. Remember, they have to go to Sutton United in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and they won't enjoy that trip, and they're not enjoying things at the moment. Arsenal 0, Watford 1. Tom Cleverley after 10 minutes. So Watford have scored. Watford looking to bounce back from a disappointing display at Millwall on Sunday. Arsenal, of course, won very handsomely at Southampton in another match we covered on the JB Clark YouTube channel. We covered Arsenal against Southampton. It was the one-way show. But we actually covered 2 different types of cup tie. We had the one-sided one where Arsenal won riot against Southampton, and the flag has gone up for offside against Jamie Vardy, and a free kick it is to Burnley, halfway side their own half. As I say, we were covering this week 2 different types of cup tie football. We had the one-sided cup tie where Arsenal just bossed Southampton off the park and won 5-0. A hat-trick for Phil Walcott and 2 for the returning Danny Welbeck. And then on Sunday, a game that was an absolute pleasure and a delight and an honour to commentate on at Gander Green Lane as Sutton United put out Championship leads, and deservedly so. And when you look back at the game again, and I watched it back yesterday, they could have actually won it by more in truth, as the long ball tries to pick out Damari Gray, but it's smuggled back to Tom Heaton, who kicks it away right-footed over the halfway line, looking for Ashley Barnes. Was he fouled there by Wes Morgan? No, in the opinion of Mike Dean there, and he had a good view to see it, but it might still work favourably for Burnley because Stephen Defoe has won a corner on the far side, and Burnley now all of a sudden starting to get a little bit of head of steam here. I'll tell you something, Leicester won't fancy this on a Tuesday night. Not many teams go to Burnley on a Tuesday night and come away with anything. You have to be a very good side to do that. Stephen Defoe towards the near post, headed away. Back to Jeff Henry. Defoe will try again. In towards Boyd that time. Header back into the danger zone. Still a game of head tennis. And then Schmeichel with a fist away. Referee poised to blow a whistle. I think maybe for offside. Kasper Schmeichel greets it with a good signal of approval from his point of view. Let's have a look. Was there an offside flag here, or was there a bit of pushing and jostling going on? Oh, it's offside impact against Ashley Barnes. So the linesman, I suppose, was correct there. Coming up towards a quarter of an hour gone. Burnley 0, Leicester City 0. Elsewhere, There's been a second goal for Watford. A second goal for Watford, and it's 2 goals inside 13 minutes. In fact, Eunice Gabor got the first goal, and Troy Deeney got the second one. As a shot, I think, from Ndidi has gone way wide here. Let's have a look at it once again. In fact, it's a foul by Ndidi on Ashley Barnes. That's hence why you heard the ironic cheers. We were looking at the Arsenal-Watford score, so Arsenal in deep trouble there at the Emirates Stadium. 12 minutes gone, they're 2 goals down, and really staring defeat at home in the face. They were lucky to beat the Clarets in their last game. And it's the ball flicked out towards Barnes inside the 6-yard box, and Schmeichel managed to save it just on the goal line. Still not away yet. Boyd driving it back in from the right-hand side. It'll come for Lawton, and Lawton can't keep it in this time. But Ashley Barnes with the first big opportunity in the match, and Kasper Schmeichel was just perfectly positioned. And again, Leicester really didn't deal with those high balls, and Barnes was definitely onside there. Kasper Schmeichel just made his frame just big enough. Then Boyd tried to drive the ball back in. It was blocked, and then Lawton obviously couldn't keep the shot in. Big chance there for Ashley Barnes. In fact, it wasn't Schmeichel who had actually driven him wide. I thought he had the shot initially, but he must have done it. It was a miscontrol from Barnes, but had he controlled it, it could have been a different outcome now, when you think about it. Schmeichel with the kick then for Leicester. 0-0 here. But Burnley have had certainly the better of the chances. They've had a free kick given against them, 10 yards inside their own half here, and Leicester now have got a big opportunity about it's something like 40 yards from goal, but it's going to be floated in, I think, just to the right of centre here, so it means that the likes of Wes Morgan and Robert Hoof can come forward here from the back. Leicester, of course, rejected a bid from Sunderland for Leonardo Ujola. We'll just watch this free kick as it was floated in from the far side, but to no great danger. And then it was cleared by Burnley to halfway. And then Barnes just hooking it up towards Gray. Gray turning away from the defender, Danny Simpson, but and then Damari Gray just knocking it back into the arm. Ndidi, sorry, knocking it back to Kasper Schmeichel. And Panini's online. I don't think he's commentating. He says good evening. Well, he says hello anyway. Well, good evening to you, Panini. He was the man for the cup draw yesterday, and he had some very big appraisals. You may have seen it. Check out his YouTube channel. He does commentaries as well. In fact, we were up against each other in the commentary stakes in a couple of the cup ties we were covering. He was covering both cup ties we were covering, but he's decided to take a check on me tonight, and I think he deserves a couple of nights off because he's done a lot of the cup games this weekend. A very dedicated follower of football, Panini. He is actually watching Liverpool v Chelsea, so he's actually working tonight. But he's taking time to come and have a look at mine, with my coverage as well, which is great stuff. Here's Joey Barton in the centre circle. Plays it out to the right-hand side, inside the Leicester half to Matt Lawton. Lawton just checks back and plays it back to Barton, in fact. And Barton just gets it back to Michael Keane. Keane looks for options, gets the ball forward again towards Barnes. Little chest on to try and look for Andre Gray, but well read there by Christian Fuchs for Leicester. Still Burnley have it with Barnes again. Barnes to Defoe. Now Stephen Ward from Jeff Henrich's pass. Ward with 2 to aim for in the penalty area, but he picked out the big 6 foot Robert Hoof, 6 foot plus Robert Hoof. He's about 6'5", 6'6" Hoof. Has played in the Premier League for a long time. German-born player. Here's Andre Gray, deep inside Burnley territory, and then Boyd playing a very poor ball, I have to say. It's too close to Kasper Schmeichel. He anticipated a run of Barnes, but Barnes didn't actually run, and in the end, they both players broke down in communication, and it's down. Well, the ball's now with Kasper Schmeichel, and he kicks away from basically the edge of his penalty box, and Ben Mee wins the header deep inside Burnley's half of the field. Mike Dean so far having not a bad game. Barnes is onside. Robert Hoof, sure, he tracked him back, and the referee hasn't given anything, but Burnley might still prop it. It's Andre Gray, shoots it to the side netting, and there is pandemonium here because Burnley, in my opinion, should have had a free kick. And Mike Dean, I said I'd keep my beady eyes on him. I think he's got this decision wrong. Oh, that's a clear barge. Robert Hoof's got away with one there. I'm not sure whether Mike Dean played an advantage or not, but maybe in hindsight he should have pulled the ball back. Well, look at it. I mean, that's a clear push. That's a clear push, and you can understand why the Clarets fans are up in arms about it, and this particular commentator's up in arms. Can Mike Dean actually get a decision right, or is it just too difficult for him? He needs to pull his finger out, in my opinion, Mike Dean. He's not the best referee. I mean, in fact, this is his reward for a really diabolical refereeing display in the Yorkshire derby between Leeds and Barnsley at Oakwell the other week, where Barnsley, in fact, edged a 5-goal thriller 3-2, and he gave some massive controversial decisions in that one as well. I'm sure Panini will update me what happened, but I can't remember the dynamics of that. But ball given away to Vardy. Vardy shoots across the face. There's no one, luckily for Burnley, inside the penalty area. A little bit of Harry Carey at the back from the Clarets, but Jamie Vardy couldn't punish his. Well, I have to say it's been. I have to say, really, Burnley have got away with one there. Just to keep you updated, Arsenal 0, Watford 2, Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1. Panini has just told me that as well. It's 2-0 to Watford, Panini, not 2-0 to Arsenal. The Middlesbrough's goal scorer, by the way, just to let you know, is Negredo from the penalty spot, and he hasn't scored for a long while, so a long overdue goal there. Liverpool and Chelsea have played 7 minutes, and Burnley now on the attack at the other end. Hoofer's cleared a crossing to touch. That's 0-0, 5 minutes gone. We'll keep you updated across the board. So Middlesbrough 1, West. The rest of the games, including this one at the moment, 0-0. And it's been a cracking game of football. To ball back with Kasper Schmeichel. We're halfway now through the first half, and Andre Gray now starting to get into the game a little bit more. Maybe Tom Heaton has got future competition for that. I look back at the Burnley, Nick Pope, the understudy, who is not amongst the 18 far this season in all games that Burnley have played, one in the League Cup and obviously 3 in the FA competition. He does a couple of great saves from Bristol City, actually signed for £300,000 to guess where? Bristol City. So he's gone from the Memorial Ground to Ashton Gate, and it's obviously divided opinion in the city of Bristol. Back here in the town of Burnley, it's all Brighton down the left-hand side for Leicester. His cross was along the ground and into the arms of Tom Heaton. And Ashley's back today, and he's hashtagging JB for the double BBC that is. Hope you're well, JB. We do love our Premier League nights. Of course we do. I mean, there's not enough around because of all the other competitions and the Champions League and whatever, but when turf balls like this on a Tuesday night, you can't beat it for atmosphere. And I've been lucky to watch games live on a Tuesday night where the atmosphere is electric. I've been to cup ties and Premier League and league games and the like for many, many years now, and you can't beat an atmosphere like it. And there's been some big teams in cup tie football, certainly midweek, that have gone down. Chelsea have gone down to us on a win week. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on their own patch. We've beaten Arsenal here, we've beaten Tottenham here in 2009. I know we didn't win on aggregate, but 3-2 on one leg is usually a good enough score. And of course we've had some great nights in front of the floodlights here. You can go back to 1961 when we had that run to the European Cup quarter-finals. And for any Lungy listeners who think, what's he going on about Europe? Burnley did compete in Europe. I've competed in 2 European competitions a couple of times in the early to mid-60s, in 61. Because they won the title in 1960, they were eligible to play in the old European Cup in the days long before Champions League football was ever invented. And this was a competition exclusively for Premier League champions. And Mike Dean may have got another decision wrong here tonight. Ashley Barnes is furious with the referee because the ball seemed to ricochet off a Leicester player last. But Mike Dean has deemed it to go the other way, and he says, "Go kick Leicester." "I'm not having that, son," he says to Barnes. But I think Mike Dean may have been wrong. He's made one or two poor decisions tonight. Should he have given a free kick? Barnes feels frustrated. I have every sympathy with him, I have to say. It's a goal kick to Leicester. And I just hope this potentially explosive and terrific game of football doesn't get spoilt by the referee and Mike Dean. This was my big concern when the Match Officials Association, as the shot comes in from about 20 yards from Damari Gray, the former Birmingham man, and it's straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Still 0-0. We're just coming up towards 26 minutes gone. Let's just keep you abreast in a moment or two of all the other scores. Once the ball goes dead into touch, which it does, Mike Dean has said, "Right, Riyad Mahrez, you didn't keep that in. That's a throw to Burnley." Meanwhile, Arsenal 0, still Arsenal 0, Watford 2, Bournemouth Palace 0-0, Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1, Sunderland 0, Tottenham 0, Swansea 0, Southampton 0, and for Jordan Edwards, who's listening to our stream tonight, Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0 currently at the moment. And so apart from Middlesbrough, West Brom and Arsenal, Watford, there's been no further scoring, and even the game we're watching tonight, Burnley versus Leicester, is goalless. It's great chance to take the ball, but again, good tackle again by Robert Hoof. He's a very experienced campaigner, Robert Hoof, and a long ball up towards Riyad Mahrez. We've not really seen much of him so far as an attacking force, but he's twisting and turning and pirouetting like a little eel there. But Ben Mee and Stephen Ward weren't to be fooled, and in fact, they work it between them a 1-2, and Ward can hit it up towards Barnes, who challenges with Morgan, who won the header, and it will be a Burnley throw just over the halfway line in the Leicester City half. And I'm sure Mad Claret will check it at some point. And don't forget, I will be back on YouTube on Mad Claret's channel on Saturday morning as we look back over the week of football that's just gone. Of course, the FA Cup and these midweek Premier League fixtures, and we'll predict the next round of Premier League games as well. We're at Burnley, including Burnley's trip to Watford. We'll preview that as well. Myself and Mad Claret 94 will be on his channel early Saturday morning, so don't miss that as Lawton crosses in from the right, but there's no one in the penalty area. Michael can just let that go, no trouble, and a goal kick for Leicester. So that's what's coming up from my point of view. If you haven't subscribed to Mad Claret's channel, and why not? If you haven't already, why haven't you? Give him a whirl, and give our programme a whirl. We're now into our first series. We plan to make many more as the season develops, and they are very much a laugh. And you get to see my mug as well, which is always a bonus. Bad haircuts and all. 28 minutes gone here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Leicester City 0, but it's been a good game. I just only hope the referee just keeps it about him because in the last few games Mike Dean has not produced the standard of refereeing which his employers are looking for. As Albrighton tries to chop a ball of 30 yards just to the left of the D, and that's comfortably down the throat of Tom Heaton, who could catch those for breakfast, brunch, dinner and tea, as they say in America. As they say down south, lunch and dinner, meaning tea. We say tea up north, because we're very common as muck up in these parts. And no, not all, and for any southerners listening, no, we're not all about cobble streets either. Not every street in the north of England is for Coronation Street style cobbles anymore. It's all tarmac these days. We are going up in the world, even up north. 0-0 here at at Turf Moor, I should say. No, I said the King Power. That was actually going to be my next bit. Handball potentially against Mahrez, but not spotted by Mr. Dean. Mahrez goes through the middle, but there's no foul, and Tom Heaton can take that quite cleanly. So we're playing half an hour. Burnley 0, Leicester 0. In the game between them, the two teams at the King Power earlier on in the season, Leicester totally outplayed Burnley in one of their rare on days, because they've had quite a lot of off days. It was probably one of their best performances. It's up there certainly with the Manchester City result, where they won 4-2 just before Christmas. But they haven't had too many of those results. Since winning the league, they've also picked up the BBC Television Sports Team of the Year as well, on the Sports Personality Awards. Grand old achievement for them. Granieri has picked up Coach of the Year as well. We'll call it breakfast, dinner, and we drink tea. But then again, I'm Irish. So do you drink Guinness then, Panini? Let me know if you drink Guinness. Because I'm a big Guinness drinker myself. But we're not... Let's not talk about Guinness for much longer, although I could talk about that stuff and Rutger Hauer's advertising for many years to come, but that's not what we're on here to do. We're here to describe a football match, and so far you're hearing a 0-0 scoreline, but it's been a very good watch. Lawton, who took a risk there. Brighton missed it, and Lawton was able to start bombing down the right hand side. He took a little risk there. It was a little bit risky there, and a teasing ball in from the right hand side. Gray just couldn't climb enough. He's not the tallest of men, Andre Gray. He's more of the pacey, small type of player. Used to do I'm teetotal, and quite right too, Panini. You're a wise head. You've got a wise head on your shoulders, Panini. Very wise head indeed. You're not the sort of guy that would mix Guinness with red wine like I once did at a work's Christmas party, and I ended up flat on my face in my hotel room. But enough about that story. Right, anyway, back to the football. Let's just check on what's going on in the other games. Arsenal 0, Watford 2, that's still going on. Bournemouth Palace 0-0, our game is 0-0. Middlesbrough West Brom is 1-1. Sunderland Tottenham, Swansea and Southampton, they're both 0-0s, and the 8 o'clock kickoff, which has only gone 15 minutes, Liverpool against Chelsea, that's also 0-0. And Derby and Sheffield Wednesday lead in the EFL, and Villa trail, but we'll keep you abreast with the half-time in the EFL at half-time. 32 minutes gone. We're inside the last 15 minutes after the first half. We'll take a 5-minute break, top up on a couple of coffees and teas and whatnots, and then we'll give you the lowdown on all the scores around England before both Leicester and Burnley come out for the second half tonight. Now, Tom Heaton has bowled the ball out here, and it looks as if we've got an injury here. Scott Arfield is about to enter the fray. Stephen Defoe is walking gingerly off. It's a big blow for Burnley. They've already lost Dean Marnie. I think it's certainly the back hamstring. So it means Scott Arfield will play on the right hand side. Him and Goodmanson are back from little injuries, but Stephen Defoe have the Clarets signed Robert Snodgrass. Well, he has signed for a Claret and Blue team, but not my team, I'm afraid. He signed for West Ham United, which is a dreadful shame, really, because he would have been a very good player for us. But there's still talk about us signing Robbie Brady. There's still a little way. There's still about 4 hours before the end of the deadline. Just to remind anyone who's coming late that Burnley, who maybe have a Burnley persuasion, that Ashley Westwood has signed for an underscore spree from Aston Villa, and I think he'll be a big player for us. I think he'll fit in well with our midfield. But here's Lawton. Burnley playing okay at the moment. Barton now trying to dink a cross in. It wasn't the best cross that Joey Barton's put in, but it's been. But it's fair to say that Leicester have been in a game. They've even taken it to Burnley for a small period. Here's George Boyd now, coming up towards the 10 minutes to go to half-time mark. Did well to keep his feet, even though he went down, still kept possession of the ball, which is a testament to the way he works. Robbie Brady is a top player. He's a top player for the Republic. he is very underrated, and he actually has very good set pieces as well. Which is, you know, you can't have too many of those set piece takers. We've got plenty of those. Stephen Defoe, Johan Gudmundsson, Joey Barton, and if we sign Robbie Brady, of course, we've got another one. So we've got plenty of the old set piece specialists at Turf War. Still no changes in any of the scorelines in all 7 Premier League games. Obviously 20 minutes gone now at Anfield, still goalless there. So apart from the 2 games so far, goals have been pretty much in the preview. So we've only had 4 goals, 1 each between Middlesbrough and West Brom, and 2-0 to Watford and Arsenal. That could be the shock of the evening. Well, by the way, you've got this game down as FA Cup 4th round. Well, this is not the FA Cup 4th round. I didn't have time to get the title changed, Panini. Basically, I wanted to do a 10-minute preview because it's transfer deadline day, and I was also jotting down the 2 lineups on a couple of pieces of paper, of course, and getting formations right and stuff, because I did struggle in the Sutton game to gauge where everybody was playing, because obviously Leeds had made those changes and I wasn't familiar with the non-leaguers, so it was always going to be a case of I had to sort of ad-lib through that game. Although it was a pleasure to commentate on, it was a tough one because I had to basically ad-lib because I wasn't familiar with either the 2 lineups. I mean, I know you watch them on a regular basis as Heaton sends that 3 kick in there towards the penalty area. There was a foul there. Keane is forward, but Morgan out jumps him. Still barely having on the edge of the penalty area. Now it's gone to the left-hand side with Ward. Drinkwater pursuing him. There's the cross in there, only half away. It'll come to Henrik on the edge of the area, former Derby County man, and now lays it out towards Andre Gray. Good running by Henrik down the right of the penalty area. First time crossing towards the 6-yard box, and Barnes was jumping there and he claims a penalty, but Mike Dean says no, and he gets the bird again from the Burnley fans. He's going to get that a lot because of his substandard refereeing, but that was a fair tackle. Leicester player going down, but Burnley not obliged to put the ball out in any way, shape or form. Ball just behind Boyd. It was really messed up there. Leicester still have a man down, but Burnley well within their rights to play on, and they are down the right hand side with George Boyd. Boyd now just knocking it back to Henrik. This is a Premier League fixture. Don't worry about the title. It's a little misleading. Here's the ball in towards the penalty area. And an appeal for another penalty. Barnes wanting the lot. And look at it! He's going up to Danny Simpson! Ashley Barnes and Simpson at it here in the penalty area. I don't think Mike Dean's seen it. And Barnes is furious with Simpson. They've been tussling for a good couple of minutes now. It's kicking off here at Turf Moor. Barnes and Simpson just pushing and shoving at each other. Henrik sends it in, but headed away by Leicester. And Danny Simpson, he wants to watch his step quite honestly. Shot coming in over the top. From about 35 yards, it was from Joey Barton, and he hit it so well. Mike Dean with it all to do here. And it all came from this. It was towards Keane. In fact, Keane and Drinkwater going in there. Keane was begging for a penalty. And then there was another incident, I think, involving Barnes and... well, I'm not sure. Barnes and Simpson then were having a bit of a set to as well. Here it is, Barnes and Simpson. Well, I think he's 6-1. Well, he's clearly got hold of Barnes' shirt from me at the back post. How has Mike Dean not spotted that? And Danny Simpson can think himself lucky that if it would have been a better referee than Mike Dean, there's no doubt about it, there'd have been a spot kick. Poor refereeing from Mike Dean. Poor refereeing. How on earth can he not spot a clear handball? It's beyond me. The referee needs to get a grip of this match, otherwise he's going to ruin it for everybody. And the way he's been performing as a referee in the last few weeks has been nothing short of pathetic, and he's living up to that billing, I'm afraid, tonight. He's in danger of ruining what could be a potentially terrific game of football. But Danny Simpson got away scot-free. And Burnley should have had a penalty. Maybe should have had 2 penalties. There's the first one. That's a clean push by Drinkwater, in my opinion, on Keane. Should have been a penalty. Then the second one is Henrik crossed in. Well, this is still the first one, but it's a clear push by Drinkwater. There's no doubt about it. And Liverpool winning or losing at Chelsea. David Luiz has just scored with a 3 kick. Panini is telling us. but Burnley should have had not one, but 2 penalties. Mike Dean, hang your head in shame, my friend. Plenty of talking points. I'm sure we'll get other people's opinions on things. So David Luiz has scored for Chelsea. On the other game, at the bottom of the table, looks like Paul Clement's working the oracle at Swansea because Morton has just scored for Swansea City. 1-0. 38 minutes. Alfie Mawson with the goal there. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 1, David Luiz, 24 minutes gone. So it's all happening now elsewhere. Bournemouth Crystal Palace is 0-0. Our game is 0-0, and Sunderland Tottenham now all yet to see goals. We're starting to see a few goals drop in now around the country. But at the moment the biggest shock is Watford winning at Arsenal 2-0. Troy Deeney with the second goal. Reyes stayed onside and wins his team a throw by the corner quadrant on the right hand side. On the Burnley flank, just by the Leicester byline. Barton with a long throw in towards the Leicester penalty box. It'll come here for Barton. Barton strikes it! Left footed, just over the crossbar, just cleared the crossbar by about an inch or two. Joey Barton's getting sighted. Remember, he scored in the last league game here at Turf Moor, and I think he got a nick, off a defender, which took it over Schmeichel's crossbar, because that might have been flying in from Joey Barton. And indeed it is, so plenty made forward then for this corner. Me and Keane both forward from the back, and it's in towards the penalty area, but Leicester just about smuggling away. It was Arfield with the corner. And Henrik goes down, free kick. And ironic cheers from Mike Dean as he finally penalises Drinkwater, albeit 5 minutes too late in my opinion. And maybe he should be going into the referee's book now, because some of the physicality from Leicester has been nothing short of pathetic. 3 minutes to go at half time. Burnley 0, Leicester 0. And here comes the Burnley free kick, floated in from the left hand side, and it's a poor one really. And now Leicester on the break now through Damari Gray, and Lawton gets there. Ois, oh, the referee, that's a little harsh. I have to say, Lawton went there. Oh, that's really, Mike Dean? It's his first defence, for heaven's sake. That's a pathetic decision. Here it is again. Gets the ball. He completely and utterly gets the ball. Mike Dean, what are you playing at? He gets the ball there for me. Absolutely disgraceful refereeing once again from Mike Dean. What is he doing? What is he playing at? He needs to get his head out of the clouds, because he's earned this reputation, or this so-called reputation as a celebrity referee, because he wants to be the man in the spotlight. It's all about the two teams. Or has he forgotten that? Leicester get a free kick in controversial circumstances. Ball floated in from the right hand side, and Wes Morgan heads over the bar. But really, there's a total injustice about that. Matt Lawton, absolutely ridiculous decision from Mike Dean. He gets the ball. He gets the ball. There's no doubt about it. And Mike Dean I just saw it and think, right, I'm going to book him here and invite the fan and really incite everybody in the stadium with it, because that's what he does best. And the Professional Match Officials Association need to look at this man's performance, because if this was done in a factory or a workplace, he would be marched into the office of the manager and he would be sacked. He would be sacked. And I'm not saying it out of biasness either. I am a self-confessed Burnley supporter, but you want the referee to let the game breathe. And at the moment, in the last 5 or 10 minutes, he hasn't done so. We're inside the last minute of the first half. Still goalless, by the way, in case you've joined us. Missed kick there by the defender, but Barnes couldn't prop it. Well, Burnley have had the better of it. Joey Barton's come closest to opening the scoring. Schmeichel's just hooked one out the ground, but Burnley should have had not one, but 2 penalties. Blatantly not spotted by Mike Dean. In good positions. Joey Barton, as I say, has come very close for Burnley on a couple of occasions. Leicester really haven't threatened too much. Gray trying to control it in the penalty area. Inside the last 5 seconds of normal time, and then it'll be down to fourth official Paul Tierney to add on. That has gone out of play. And we're going to have one additional minute at the end. And then we'll be all glad, I suppose, to take a breather and simmer down, because some of us simmer down because, quite frankly, there's certain refereeing decisions that have made my blood boil. And I have to say, Mike Dean has certainly written his name, or is in danger of writing his name all over this game. But at least Joey Barton's trying to drag the game out with a scruff of the neck and trying to play some football, which is more than I can say for the refereeing in this game. One ball forward, but just evades Andre Gray. He's not the tallest of men. Bout Barnes has it, 35 yards from goal. He's got it through to Arfield. Arfield will try the shot and just wide of the target. That's better from Burnley as we go into time added on at the end of time added on. Scott Arfield, who scored against Everton, of course, the late winning goal there. And he gets a deflection that just takes it wider than the opposite. Michaels hit the stanchion at the back. Arfield with the corner. Last play of the half, you'd think. Ball into towards the 6-yard box. And here's Henrik. And that will be knocked away. And Mike Dean brings the end to the first half. And he's greeted by a chorus of boos because Burnley have been on the wrong end of a couple of his dodgy refereeing decisions lately. Jamie Vardy's protesting something, but Leicester have been the beneficiaries of some controversial decisions given in their favour, because Mike Dean failed to not spot the push by, a blatant push by, firstly, Drinkwater on Michael Keane in the penalty area, but he also failed blatantly to see a complete and utter blatant shirt pull by Danny Simpson and Ashley Barnes as well, again inside the penalty area, and then he books Lawton for getting the ball, and Damari Gray conned him. But we're going to take a couple of minutes here at Turf Moor. We'll refresh ourselves. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, and after that 5-minute break I'll run down all the half times from the Premier League and the Championship as well. So at half time at Turf Moor, it's 0-0. We'll take a 5-minute break. See you then. Welcome back to Turf Moor. Sorry about the delay. We had to get some milk for the coffee. So let's take a check what's happening around the country. Let's skin the half-time scores. Arsenal 0, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. The game we're watching tonight, Burnley Leicester, or we're bringing to you tonight, Burnley Leicester, that's 0-0. Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1, Sunderland 0, Tottenham 0, and Swansea 1, Southampton 0. Latest score at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Chelsea 1. In the EFL Championship, few games going tonight. Let's look across them for you. Barnsley 0, Wolves 2. Wolves who've won at Anfield, of course, winning at half-time here up at Barnsley. Birmingham 0, Reading 0, Brentford 2, Aston Villa 0. It's not going right for Steve Bruce's side. Bristol City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1 at half-time. Lee Johnson has lost 9 on the bounce, including that cup defeat at Turf Moor. Cardiff 2, Preston North End 0, Ipswich 0, Derby County 3, and Nottingham Forest 0, Rotherham United 0. And the team's now just back out at Turf Moor, so we're going to get back to the second half in just a second. And I have to say, Mike Dean needs to perform better than he did in the first half, because that first 45 minutes, when he should have given Burnley not 1 but 2 clear penalties, was just unforgivable. We're just waiting for Leicester to come out, by the way. Bitterly cold, rainy night. Ashley Mottram likes to make 2 points. Personally, Brady will be a fantastic signing for you guys. I'm not sure if he's signed or not, because I've not heard anything. I've not heard anything concrete. And secondly, how is Mike Dean allowed to referee top flight games? Well, if he'd have been working in a factory and he was making mistakes like that, actually, he'd have been sacked on the spot. How are the professional match referees and officials limited not seeing the sense to sack the fellow? Because if he makes another 2 or 3 scandalous decisions like that, and in fact Robbie Brady has signed for Burnley with, yes, they've broken. That is a great signing. I can bring you some breaking news, although Ashley has actually broken it to me. And they've actually broken their club record, transfer record, to sign Robbie Brady from Norwich City. So the 25-year-old Republic of Ireland international has signed a 3.5-year deal. That actually breaks the previous record, which stood at 10.5 million Derby, that Burnley played Derby for Jeff Henrik. And he scored 4 goals and has played at Hull and Norwich, of course, in his career, as Leicester City in blue kick off. So that's a piece of breaking transfer news. And Panini with a tongue-in-cheek gag. We love Panini when he's in this tongue-in-cheek mood. This is brilliant. You've got more chance of winning the lotto than you have Mike Dean doing better in this half. Well, I know it's wishful thinking, Panini, but he can't. The referee, I'm afraid, his first half performance was, to say the least, and I've got stronger words than abysmal to describe it, performance, but I can't repeat it at 9:15 on a Tuesday night, I'm afraid. We're still before the old 9 o'clock watershed. Burnley 0, Leicester City 0. And just to run through the teams for you very quickly, I'll run through them when we get a breaking play, and that's Ndidi getting that one out for Leicester. And now Vardy has it midway inside the half. In fact, he's been penalised. And a few ironic cheers for the referee. So in case you missed it at the start, here are the Burnley 11. This is the Burnley 11. Tom Heaton's in goal. Back 4 usual. Lowton, Keane, me and Ward. Ward at left back. Lowton at right back with Keane and me, the 2 central midfielders. Boyd on the left. Barton, Henrik. Defoe has gone off with an injury, so on in his place comes Scott Arfield. And it's Barnes and Gray up front. And for Leicester, they're 11. Schmeichel in goal. Simpson, Morgan, Hoof and Fuchs. Drinkwater, Ndidi, Gray, O'Brighton, Mahrez and Vardy. Burnley on the attack, and it comes out for Barton again, shoots just wide. He's getting closer by the second. Again another right full rasp, this time along the ground. I think Schmeichel might have had the near post covered, but he's having a good side to a goal, Joey Barton. He's having a good game. I think he's been the best player of the 22 that's been playing. I think he's probably had the best game of the lot so far. And with 20 minutes to go, we'd ask you people who are listening in to message suggestions for the JB man in the match. Well, the Clarets, the man in the match, either Burnley or Leicester. Who do you think has been deserving of it? It's hard to choose when it's 0-0, but at the moment my vote would probably go to Joey Barton. Offside decision given against Jamie Vardy. He was starting to mouth off at the referee a bit, and Vardy's got that reputation for being a bit of a mouthy character. Well, there's no doubt about it. He was about a good half a yard offside. So I suppose the officials, for once in their lives, have got a couple of decisions right. And it's very rare for me to talk about Mark Dean and getting and as an official and him getting decisions right. But well, there's always a first time for everything. Burnley 0. Leicester City 0. The champions of the Championship up against the current Premier League champions. Arsenal 0. Watford 2. Crystal Palace have just scored against Bournemouth. Big goal for them. Scott Dan, after 46 minutes, has put Palace ahead. Our game is still 0-0. Middlesbrough 1. West Bromwich Albion 1. Sunderland Tottenham is also 0-0. Alfie Mawson has scored for Swansea against Southampton, and Liverpool 0. Chelsea 1 is now a half-time score, but David Luiz has got the all-important goal for Chelsea. Liverpool, if they're not careful, could be on the verge of losing 4 consecutive matches at Anfield inside 7 days. Inside 10 days, because they had a defeat to Swansea here a week last Saturday. They lost in the EFL Cup on the Wednesday, and they also lost 2-1 to Wolves on the Saturday, and of course now they're losing there today. But they've got 45 minutes to pull this one out of the fire, as Barnes now takes the ball from Barton and runs 10 yards, but he has to play it out to the right hand side. Lawton is offering a bit of support. Let's hope the second half is all about the football, not Mike Dean's whistle or controversial referee decision making. Long crossing from the right, it's too long, and over into the Jimmy McIlroy stand. And if people are asking who's Jimmy McIlroy, he was the Burnley midfielder who won the championship with Burnley back in 1960. He's one of Burnley's greatest ever players, Northern Irish international, and he's since those heady days has been given the freedom of the town of Burnley. Coming up towards 5 minutes of the second half gone. And for those who don't know who Bob Lord is, he was the aristocratic, very traditionalistic Burnley chairman who ran the club with an iron rod for so many years and kept the club going. Also his primary occupation, in fact, was a butcher, but he made his money through being a butcher. He had a butcher's shop in the town as well, Bob Lord, and he was also the chairman of one of the board of the Football League for several years. Died quite a number of years ago now, but his name still echoes around these famous corridors at Turf Moor. I'm missing absolutely nothing at the moment, only high balls back in there, and I don't know whether you're giving the score away, but don't give the scores away. And here's George Boy for Burnley, far side, infield towards Barnes. Barnes has the shot and just wide of the target, and a goal kick. Just to remind you, Burnley have made 2 transfer deadline signings. Of course, they've signed. They also earlier signed They've signed Robbie Brady just now, and of course they've signed Ashley Westbrook from Aston Villa, but that's on an undisclosed speed. We won't find out until it's released, but I would say in the region of about maybe £5, maybe £6 million. And Sean Dyche also hinted in the press conferences that he wants another striker. He's got 3 already. That's Gray, Vokes, and obviously Barnes. Obviously Bamford has left. He's had his loan terminated by Chelsea, and then Middlesbrough snapped him up for £10 million. One ball forward towards Gray. Gray towards the penalty area. Bit isolated, gets his shot in, and Schmeichel at the near post. Diving away to his left, turns it behind for a corner. Shot just to the right of the penalty area here, Andre Gray. Barnes flicking it on into his path. Had to take on Wes Morgan. Got a good shot in, but Schmeichel wasn't going to be fooled at that near post. He's a top quality goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, and he was never going to be fooled there. Still a long way to go to emulate the success of his famous father, of course, Peter, as the corner comes in from the far side, beyond everybody, including Ashley Barnes, but Henrik has it on the edge of the area. Henrik tries to shot it, was charged down by a defender, Leicester defender. Then Henrik looks as if he was barged on the ball, but he's kept his feet well and has got the ball inside the penalty area. And then Droids rather tries to shot, and he's got it all wrong, and it's into the Jimmy McElroy stand for a goal kick for Leicester City. 53 minutes of the second half now have elapsed. And guys, at least we're seeing a little bit of football, and we're seeing a lot more attacking intent now as the game has gone on from Burnley. Just keep you updated with the other scores. Arsenal 0, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Palace 1, Middlesbrough 1, West Bromwich Albion 1, Sunderland Spurs is still 0-0, Swansea 1, Southampton 1, and with the second half still to go, Liverpool 0, Chelsea 1. Derby leading the EFL, and Villa trail 2-0 at Brentford. And those are the big headlines in the EFL this evening. As Lancashire Holmes is now sung out with great gusto here at Turf Moor. And the Burnley fans do make it a 12th man here at Turf Moor. They really do, and they're infectious and very knowledgeable. It's a good crowd here at Turf Moor. I would say somewhere in the region of 18,000. There's a few empty seats about. People seem to forget they are playing the champions of the Premier League from last season. But they're taking it to them as Boyd goes forward on the right hand side. Looks as if he pulled up there, but I don't think it's anything serious. He's fit and carrying on again, which is good news for them. There's a long ball looking for Vardy, but again Ben Mee and Michael Keane, two magnificent defenders who have looked fantastic. And yeah, he was a butcher actually. And he didn't suffer fools gladly either, did Bob Lord. He was against television and all that sort of thing in the early days, in the 60s and 70s, when Match of the Day was in its old infancy. Very traditional Villa. But yeah, there's an injury down there, but Leicester, it's not a head injury, so Burnley are well within their rights to play on. But it's given away once more to Vardy, and now Mahrez breaking down the right hand side. He's up against Ben Mee here. Ben Mee just sticking to him like super glue, but Mahrez tries the shot. Oh, the goalkeeper lost it, and Vardy goes in, and Mike Dean says no penalty to Jamie Vardy's surprise, I suppose. But Tom Eaton, it's very rare we say this, he didn't get it in well. That wasn't his usual safe handling skill, and I suppose he's got away with one there, the Burnley goalkeeper. Jamie Vardy feels as if he should have had a penalty. He was very surprised. Well, Scott Arfield had stupidly lost it there, and Burnley were a little bit short-handed at the back. Mahrez made a terrific run, cuts in from the right-hand side, and Mahrez has the shot initially, and Heaton loses it. I'm not sure whether that's a penalty. If we look at it again, from behind the goal, he didn't spill it. I think he gets a flick on that, he gets a touch on the ball. So I don't think you could give a penalty. I think Vardy's looking for it. If you slow it down there, I think he gets a hand on that, or he gets something on the ball there, Heaton. And I think the referee was about right. As Burnley hoists the ball, hides the penalty area, he's given a goal kick. And the Burnley fans don't like that decision, of course. 10 minutes gone in the second half, still 0-0. Looks as if it came off Fuchs last. I have to say, looks, it comes off Fuchs last. Another appalling decision from Mike Dean. How many more appalling decisions is he going to make this evening? The penalty decision again that Leicester was trying to get a minute or two ago, yes, he got right, and I applaud him, but he's made more poor decisions than good again. I know he's human and I know he makes mistakes, but there's certain people that make too many, and Mike Dean, I'm afraid, falls in that category. There is a Burnley player down, but Burnley deciding to carry on, but I think that will... No, it'll still be kept in. Gray about 35 yards, tries the shot, and Drinkwater came from behind and took the ball cleanly, according to the referee. And surely Burnley need to get this out and get the injured player tended to, and Ben Mee does that. Well, he doesn't do that, does he? Yes, he does. And it's Barnes who's been clattered into here now. Is this another bad incident here? The referee, I'm afraid, is not cottoned on to this game at all. I'm afraid he's absolutely had a stinker here. Let's have a look at it again. It's it's an elbow. It's an elbow. Indeed, he's absolutely cut it into him. He's looked at Barnes and said, right, you're having this, and bang. If the referee had seen that, I think that would have been a red card for Ndidi. That's my opinion. Other people might see it differently. Other opinion, I don't expect many people to agree with me, but I'm afraid that's another decision, another incident that Mike Dean has and his officials, Hussein and Heaton, his two assistants, and Porcini have badly missed. And I'm afraid Mike Dean, the way things are going, is going to get nothing but criticism from everybody here. Ashley Barnes, thankfully, he's A-OK. He's a tough cookie, Ashley Barnes. He's a real tough cookie. One ball forward, and Arfield might flick this on. Arfield edge of the penalty area. A chance here for Ward to get a deep cross in there. Schmeichel thought about coming, didn't in the end. Barnes was clattered in again. Everyone again appealing for a penalty, but again Mike Dean, not for the first time tonight, just blatantly waves it away. And now Mahrez at the other end, the right hand end for Leicester. This could be controversial as Mahrez, deflection that could have gone anywhere, and it's gone thankfully wide. Came off Keane last, and it could have gone anywhere. For one heart-stepping moment I thought it might have been going backwards, with Tom Heaton going the wrong way into the back of the Burnley net. But should Burnley have had a potential penalty then? Well, it wasn't going anywhere near the goal as it turned out, but Ruscott, it looked as if it was going to deflect towards the goal, but it didn't. As Tamari Gray now, will he hook it long or will he hook it short? He was going to try and take one with Mahrez, but he's gone long into the penalty area. Ball comes out to Drinkwater first, and then Brighton plays it back. There's got to be an offside there, surely. No, Mahrez sinks that one in, and now Boyd can just hook it out. We're coming up towards an hour gone. This was where the incident started 2 years ago in that massive game, remember? Both teams attacking their respective ends where it all happened. First of all at the Jimmy Macca, where Burnley had a penalty and Matt Taylor hit the post. And then 60 seconds later, from a cross, coincidentally from Albrighton, Jamie Vardy prodded in from a yard out after Duff had almost scored an own goal, and Tom Heaton had bailed him out. One of the most heartbreaking moments that Turf Moor has seen for many a long year. Contributed to Burnley's sad relegation that year in 2015, but they bounced back terrifically well and have won and punching above their weight in the division so far. 10 points above the drop zone before kick-off tonight. But for 0-0, it's been full of incident and full of massive talking points. Leicester get a throw level with the Burnley penalty box. Stephen Ward couldn't keep that in. Southampton have equalised at Swansea, by the way. Shane Long with the equalising goal after 57 minutes. So obviously Southampton bouncing back from that horrendous cup defeat to Arsenal on Saturday in the best possible way. Tough place to go to, Swansea, even though they have been struggling. But Paul Clement started slowly but surely to get things rocking down there in South Wales. Oh, Brighton now trying to get the crossing from the right hand side, but that's Joey Barton again. He's a workhorse, Barton. He's really worked hard. And so too is Jeff Emerick. Fairly getting the ball there from Mahrez. And now Boyd on his way. This man in a marathon could give Mo Farah a run for his money. Down the right hand side, he plays the ball in, and no one was gambling to get on the end of it. Barnes should have been there, I think, a little bit quicker. And if he had been, he would have had a 3-shot at goal. And now Vardy at the other end. It's Jamie Vardy, and Heaton had to be careful. And has he brought him down? No, says the referee. Mike Dean, perfectly placed. Heaton didn't slide in, or didn't try to slide in. Jamie Vardy he's furious, and he's getting the burn from the Burnley fans. But I don't think you could have given a penalty for that. I think Vardy's lucky for it. One ball down, let's have a look. No, he's lucky for that. He's going down before there's even any contact. There is contact there. But I'm sorry, Vardy's looking for that. Tom Heaton is just standing his ground for me. He's running to him, and you can't get a penalty. You can't give a penalty for that. Jamie Vardy, he's trying to win penalties now. He knows with Leicester's situation, it's a desperate situation for them. They're only 5 points worse off than Burnley in the table, so somehow they have to try and resort to some kind of dirty tactic, and they are. And I have to say, some of the Leicester gamesmanship has been really, really disgraceful. Shows some true championship spirit. Panini has just reported in that Arsenal have pulled a goal back against Watford, so that game back in the balance a little bit, although Watford will be still delighted they're in front there. But Arsenal are very capable of coming back from the Denning games. Same result as the Cup quarter-final they played out last year at the Emirates, and Watford have experience of going to the Emirates and winning before, and they won by that same scoreline, 2-1. Got winning an ace on the final, losing out to Crystal Palace. Anyway, here's Lawton now for Burnley, back to present day, and it's poked away by Simpson. And behind for the corner, Barnes was lurking at that back stick then. It was a dangerous looking ball in from Matt Lawton. And Burnley now starting to pressurise this Leicester defence again. And the goal scorer for Arsenal just before the corner is taken. The Arsenal scorer is Iwobi. As the corner comes in, and it's just gone wide, in fact, from Ben Mee from the corner. Taken by Scott Arfield from the near side. There's the corner again. Arfield took it. Ben Mee at the back post grew above everyone else and headed it about a couple of foot wide in the end, but it was a chance, half a chance for Burnley. Wasn't helped, it really scores there by Ashley Barnes jumping in front of him, I suppose, inside that penalty area. So I won't give Ben Mee too much criticism for that, because he was put off a little bit by Ashley Barnes jumping for it first, but just couldn't grow enough, I suppose. Coming up towards the final 25 minutes of the game. For 0-0, this has been quite an eventful watch. Plenty of incidents. Barney's been looking for 3 penalties, which he's quite rightly not been given. Burnley should have had two penalties themselves, perhaps. Fouls by Keane, and fouls on Keane and Barnes. But it's Leicester now breaking down the left-hand side, low cross, but Michael Keane, strong as an ox, getting in the way, but unfortunately for him, not very far. Mahrez will try again from the far side. Header won by Vardy. It'll come again here for Ndidi. Ready again. He's penalised. Foul on Stephen Ward, and Burnley can breathe once again. Well, we're now at 8 minutes past 9 in the evening, and the game is really building up to a real crescendo. There's a substitution taking place here. It looks as if Ahmed Musa will be the first change. Ahmed Musa, who came in the summer, it's paid a lot of money as well for him, but it hasn't turned out to be a very good signing so far for Ranieri. Bit of wrestling on Ashley Barnes. Was it spotted there by the referee, or is he giving a throw to Burnley? I think he's given a throw, but it may have been an appeal there for a possible free kick. And Arfield completely, utterly makes an orix of it all then, and it's a goal kick to Leicester. Well, we're now coming up towards the halfway mark of our commentary match. The last sort of 25 minutes here at the turf, as Kasper Schmeichel, son of famous goalkeeper Peter, of course, played at Manchester United, Aston Villa, Manchester City amongst his clubs. Started his career with his father at Brøndby many moons ago, and played in the Denmark team that won 1992 European Championships. Here's O'Brien, right hand side. Cross gets a little nick, but it'll fall favourably for goalkeeper Tom Heaton. Hasn't had one of his better nights, but still has a clean sheet in the bank. Here's Ben Mee now for the Clarets, hitting it long up towards Andre Gray, but the header won there by Leicester. Now a chance for Arfield to knock it forward. Gray then gets a little touch, nearly binds Barnes with it. And a break here for Henrik from Barton's ball. Barton wants the ball back, and that's a lovely play now, and Stephen Ward has a chance now to maybe play to Henrik, who's got a bit of space, and Ward has got a bit of space on the left hand side. Can he dink across it and get a deflection? It will be a Burnley corner near side. Came off Danny Simpson. Corner kick to the Clarets. 68 minutes gone. We're at the halfway mark of the second period. We haven't had a goal yet, but could we see one now? Keane and Mee both forward from the back. Arfield now needs to be better these deliveries. Scott Arfield, right footed in towards the 6-yard area, and a header flicked on, and it's another corner, this time the far side. Ben Mee went in for it again. He's very dangerous at set pieces, Ben Mee, and of course Michael Keane. They both scored a couple of goals. They've scored about 3 or 4 goals already between them this season from set plays. So they have a bit about them, these two centre backs from Burnley. Must have come on Morgan last, because it is a corner. Still 0-0 in the Sunderland game as that ball comes in towards the back post. Barnes winning the header. Still alive for Burnley. Gray has a shot. Charged down. Keane has a shot. And then charged down. And then Leicester smuggling out, but only as far as Henrik. Henrik controls it well and finds a lovely ball out to Arfield. Picked him out superbly. And Boyd in a bit of space in the area. Plays a 1-2 back to Arfield. Round the edge of the area. Back heels it, and Henrik tries the shot, and again Leicester bodies in the way, and then Barton takes possession, and Ben Mee getting it back to Lawton, and now it's Burnley now, laying siege on the Leicester goal all of a sudden. The ball in towards the penalty area, shot from Barnes, hacked over the bar, and a goal kick for Leicester, who will be very, very grateful, I suppose, to survive. Coming up towards 20 minutes of the second half remaining, and this is what happened. The corner from Arfield causing all the problems. Barnes with a lovely header back into the mix, although he was a bit off balance, and it was hooked away. And a scoreline in the National League. Tranmere Rovers, who are trying to topple Lincoln City, the top of that particular league, 2-0 up at Woking. So Woking 0, Tranmere 2. Tranmere, who for so many years amongst the 90s were in the old Championship playoffs for so many years, but just couldn't get to Wembley when one reached the Premier League. They also reached Wembley 17 years ago in the League Cup final, and nearly won it as well at the John Aldridge. They should not be in that league. They are a Football League outfit. You look at the stadium, you look at the infrastructure. Tranmere should not be a National League team. They should be Football League, as O'Brien crosses in from the right hand side, but Ben Mee just casually hooks that one away for Burnley up towards halfway, but Leicester win possession. But then again Boyd, the workhorse, in there to win another ball. The crowd love that sort of commitment, and George Boyd certainly gives you that competitive edge and that spirit. But Leicester are just losing possession rather casually here, making 1 or 2 elementary mistakes, and Burnley now sensing opportunities in the ball down the right hand side. Gray takes on Hoover, looked as if he was wrestling him to the ground, and Gray going in, and they certainly want a penalty, and maybe they should have had a penalty, because certainly a free kick anyway, because Gray was blatantly wrestled to the ground by Robert Hoof. You see this again. Look at him. He's got fistful of shirts. He's got everything there. That, for me, should be a foul. The referee, again, if he's got this wrong, should be getting the bird for me. He's wrestling him there, Robert Hoof. I think he has won the free kick, in fact. In fact, it's only a corner. So it's a corner game in towards the penalty area. Header from the penalty spotter area and just wide. And in fact, just over the top. But Burnley having the better chances in the game. And a wonderful corner from the far side from Arfield. Right-footed, curling out swinger. And over the bar from Benme. Bullet header, free header as well. Should have scored. But Burnley now in the ascendancy, and Henry now breaking. Oh, taken out quite comprehensively there by the Leicester man. And indeed, he should be booked. He should be booked. It's a tackle from behind. Get your yellow card out, Mike Dean, pronto, because that is a challenge from behind. If you can book a man who works hard like Matt Lawton for a challenge that was less than that in the first half, surely you have to go in the book right now. But he's not going to do so, and that to me is poor refereeing. Jeff Henrick being tended to by the official, by the physio Alistair Beattie. It's a good job they've signed these two midfield players, because Stephen Defoe off and Jeff Henrick there as well. That could be, well, the last thing they want is another injury. There's been some developments elsewhere in the Premier League while we have a break in play, because Bournemouth, so it's Arsenal 1, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 1. As I said, Scott Dan, that goal came after 47 minutes. Our game is still 0-0. Middlesbrough West Brom still deadlocked at 1-1. And Sunderland Spurs still deadlocked at 0-0. Swansea have actually taken the lead against Southampton. Gylfi Sigurdsson after 70 minutes. And there's been a bit of development. I believe at Anfield it's 1-1. I don't know who's got the goal, by the way. But I'm sure we'll find out in just a minute. Jeff Henrick, thankfully, is, well, at least he's on his feet. And the physio, Ali Beattie, just saying, just hold on a minute, he might be able to run this off. He's a tough character. He's an Irishman. Of course he's going to be tough. But he gives up early a free kick, and maybe indeed he should. He's very, very lucky, in my opinion, to only have a free kick against his name. Here comes the free kick. Barton into the penalty area, flicked on. And it will be a corner, in fact. Came off Gray and then off a Leicester defender. Wijnaldum, in fact, has scored the goal after 56 minutes, Panini tells me. So it's Gigi Wijnaldum with the equaliser at Anfield. It's all happening at Turf Moor, but we've yet to have a goal to bring you tonight. But in Burnley's situation, every point towards that 40 point is crucial. Referee wasn't ready for the corner. There's been a jostling and shoveling, and something has gone on here off the ball. Was we were looking elsewhere. Now Mike Dean has got some sorting out to do here. I think the corner will be retaken, and he's got this reputation, Mike Dean, this season of being very hard. He has given one or two. He's given a lot of penalties for pushing and shoving this season. So we'll just have to watch this. No, this was what happened. Benme was there. Well, I think that's a penalty. Here comes the corner, second time of asking, and it's a goal kick this time. Came at the back post off Ashley Barnes last, and we're now a quarter of an hour away from the end. Sean Dyche's yet to make a second. Well, he's made one change. That was enforced, of course. Stephen Defoe came off with an injury, and let's see if there was any pushing and shoving. Well, maybe there was actually on Michael Keane. Maybe I was off a shout there, but there was no great appeals. It's a goal kick. 2 goals games. This one we're watching in the Sunderland Tottenham game, which amazes me really that Tottenham, maybe Tottenham's exploits in the FA Cup have come back, as Shinji Orizaki is about to come on to replace Albrighton, who's not had a bad game. He's probably been Leicester's best player by a mile. So Orizaki comes on for the last 15 minutes plus injury time. about less than 15 minutes now. We've played 76 minutes and 30 seconds. Leicester have a throw. Danny Simpson, who was very lucky in the first half not to have a penalty awarded against him, and then he tried to take on Ashley Barnes. You don't want to do that when Ashley Barnes is pumped up like a raging rhino. I just wonder when Sam Brooks might be introduced there for Burnley, because when he's come on as a substitute, he's tended to impact very well on the bench. Certainly in a very tense game against Middlesbrough, they certainly needed him there. And has scored in recent cup ties as well, folks, so he's got a bit about him. Ball in there, that's Tom Heaton's every day of the week. He's had a couple of dicey moments tonight, Tom Heaton, but I mean, in the main, he's been Burnley's player of the season. The saves he's made a record. Before tonight, he made a whopping 93 saves in his Premier League game, so he's been far the busiest goalkeeper. But Leicester might have some work to do, because Gray through, Schmeichel half saved it, and then it was hooked away by Danny Simpson, and Leicester got lucky there. Gray, if it had been a bit more accurate, would have... And a beaten Schmeichel then. That was 1-0. He gets away here from the defender, and Schmeichel with his leg blocks it. Oh, that looked a penalty on Barnes. And Mike Dean not spotted that. He was 5 yards away. It was a clear penalty, and Barnes was completely taken out. Enough to disgrace of a decision from Mike Dean. Burnley should have had not one, not two, but 3 blatant penalties. Mike Dean, how has he not spotted them? Disgraceful. Nottingham Forest 2, Rotherham United 0 in the Championship. But how is that not a penalty? And Ashley Barnes is being substituted. And here comes Sam Vokes. And Ashley Barnes should have had 2 penalties given in favour of him. And he's frustrated. He's frustrated, but in a good way. Still 0-0, by the way. But for a 0-0, it's been quite a watch. Barton now has it from the throw. Back to Ward. Ward on to Henrik, who's worked hard. Now Harfield. Harfield tries to get the ball in, but that's out, surely. That's a corner. Mike Dean again! Not on with it. And now there could be a controversial moment, because here's Jamie Vardy at the other end, right hand side. And showing how Keenan Ward will see him off. But we looked at blatant corner. And Mike Dean again in a good position did not see it. This is why he is one of the worst referees, not just in the Premier League, but in this whole country. Really another disgraceful decision. And it's the most obvious decision you'll see. Header from Musa straight in the arms of Tom Heaton. Not troubling the Burnley goalkeeper on Julie, but... Oh, Mike Dean. Mike Dean, you are doing the refereeing paternity a disservice tonight, my son, and not for the first time this season. And it's up to his bosses at the Professional Match Officials Association, or whatever they call themselves, to really take a long look at this fella, because these are basic refereeing errors he's been making in the last 3 or 4 games. You can give him all the demotions he wants, but he's making the same error week in, week out. It doesn't matter what league he's been forced to referee, whether it's a Premier League game or a Sunday League fixture. He's making simple refereeing errors. Here's Vokes inside the penalty area. Has a pot shot and it's gone over the top. But that was great movement by Burnley. Great putting it into Vokes' path. And when these two link up, they are a handful for any defenders. The ball headed on the left-hand side. Great with a flick on. And Vokes just couldn't keep the shot down. Won't be a minute. So, 9 minutes to play, still 0-0. But Burnley have really given as good as they've got, to be honest with you. And I've well and truly been good value for what they've set out. And we'll be back with you in just a sec. We just lost the stream. There's been a bit of a communication breakdown. But we will be back with you shortly, but there's not been any goals so far as we can make out. So, but it's been a game that's been littered with refereeing decisions that have been truly wide of the mark as far as I'm concerned. A referee, Mike Dean, who I questioned the sanity of him refereeing this game, and he has really been, in terms of poor decision, in making poor decisions, he has made some horrendous decisions. But we are 8 minutes away from the end here, plus stoppage time. Ball out of play for a throw. Other scores at the moment: Arsenal 1, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 1, Burnley 0, Leicester 0. That's the game you're listening to right now. Middlesbrough 0, Middlesbrough 1, sorry, West Brom 1. Sunderland Tottenham 0-0. Swansea 2, Southampton 1. And the 8 o'clock game from Anfield, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. We will be coming off at around about quarter to 22, quarter to 10 tonight. So I've had a long day, and I think I need an early night, to be quite honest with you. Can Burnley snatch a late victory? They've got 8 minutes for stoppage time. You have to say Burnley have been the better team. Leicester have been bought by a few refereeing decisions. 23 attempts to Leicester's 10 in Burnley's favour. There's no doubt about who's had the more attempts. And on target, Burnley have had 2, and Leicester have had a whopping 5, to be fair. So maybe it's a little more equal than I thought. But here's Stephen Ward now for Burnley. Infield to Gray. Gray does a good holding up job, but he needs support. Here's Ward. Low cross in, but it's sucked away. Leicester had a lot of blue shirts back. Did you have a dream that you'd be doing match day commentary when you were a young lad? Well, my initial dream was to play football, Panini, like any other schoolboy. When I was growing up, footballers were just getting nice luxury cars, not very nice houses, and they weren't getting paid millions. So it was more about playing the game for me. But then I knew when I couldn't play the game, I decided to turn my hand at commentary, and I was inspired by Barry Davis, John Motson, Brian Moore, all them people, and that inspired me to try my hand at it. Here's the ball into the penalty area. Too close to Kasper Schmeichel. Burnley working the goalkeeper tonight. That's a good sign. Even if it ends 0-0, it's not the most disastrous result in the world. But Burnley, in the grand scheme of things, to pick up a 0-0 against the Premier League Championships is not a disgraceful result at all. And Burnley will still go into the Watford game brimming with confidence, and they're not far away from getting that first away win of the season, I don't think. They should have had a point at Arsenal, in truth. Here's Lowton on the right hand side. A lovely deep cross, but Danny Simpson virtually unchallenged, winning that quite comfortably. Keane knocking it forward, but straight into the path of Orazaki here. Now 5 minutes to go. Orazaki on the break for Leicester. There was definitely no foul there by Joey Barton. It's play on quite rightly. Here's Arfield into the path of Gray. Just couldn't dig it towards Folks, and if Folks had been in there, I think that would have been the sucker punch for Leicester. And Joey Barton has picked up man of the match. And you've got 5 minutes, in fact, to vote for your man of the match. Who's going to be the man of the match from you guys? The listeners' man of the match. So, come on, 5 minutes, choose your man of the match. Sponsors have given it to Joey Barton. Who do you think deserves the man of the match? There's been some good performances from Burnley players. Barnes has worked hard. Lawton has played some good balls in. George Boyd has had a marvellous game. And in fact, George Boyd has played a corner. And this is a big moment now for Burnley. We'll get to what Panini will be saying in a second, because he just sent us a message through there on the corner, and you're quite right, and you're quite entitled to do so. Keep it clean though. Here's the corner from the far side. Keep with a header, and it's been turned in by Fox, the substitute, and Burnley have scored, and what could be a crucial goal. They're mobbing the goal scorer, and Trotman is shaking, violently shaken to its very foundations, and Burnley deserve the lead. Leicester didn't deal with the corner. Keane won the first header, and Sam Vokes from 3 yards out said thank you very much, good night nurse, and Burnley get the lead. And do you know what? It's richly deserved. Leicester claiming a handball, but it was with his chest quite clearly and hooks it in with his left foot. To scenes of obvious delight. Yes, he chests the ball down, there's no doubt about it. Leicester can cry and wolf about that decision all they want, but the referee and linesman were right. And maybe, just maybe, justice for once in this crazy game has been done, and Burnley more than merit the lead. Sam Vokes, who started scoring goals, certainly in cup-tie football, the Leicester players, if they're not careful, will end up in the referee's notebook for dissent. But there's no doubt about it, it's a perfectly fair goal, and Claudio Ranieri, he can stand there stern-faced in his bobble hat, but there's no doubt about it, it's a goal that Burnley have more than deserved. And with 3 minutes, maybe less than that, to go now plus stoppage time, we have a goal at Turf Moor, and it's gone to Burnley and Sam Vokes. And maybe those poor decisions against Burnley may have just come back. Maybe that's justice done. James Tarkowski is going to come on for the last few seconds, so Burnley losing their final substitution up, so off comes the hard-working Jack Fenrick. Well, Sam Vokes has only been on the pitch for about 5 minutes and has scored what could now be the winning goal. If Burnley can hold it now for at least another 2, maybe 3 more minutes after the initial 90 minutes, because I think there'll be at least 3 minutes added on. I'll be very surprised if it's more than that, to be quite honest with you. Gray holding it up well. Burnley now, all they've got to do is just keep Leicester out, and they've done it, and revenge for 2 years ago will be so sweet. They hadn't beaten Leicester in 7 before tonight in competitive games, so this was a real crucial one for them to try and get points out of. And remember, they started the night on 26 points. This would take them to 29 points. Elsewhere, it's Arsenal 1, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 1. Well, Burnley winning at home to Leicester. As we look at a replay of the goal, Keane with a header. Chests it down, in my opinion. I don't think there's a handball. It's certainly accidental anyway, if it was. But my word, didn't he hook it in well with his left foot? And Sam Vokes wheeled away. The Leicester fans appealing. Schmeichel almost like Peter Shilton in 86, appealing like he did, but I didn't see a handball. And even if there was the slightest of handballs, I don't think Sam Vokes knew much about it, to be fair. And Leicester can cry all they want, but they're getting what they deserve, nothing. They've not really, in this second half, done enough to me to warrant even a point out of this game. Ball back, safely back with Tom Eaton. We've played the 90 minutes. We'll just, before we bring it in, yes, 3 added minutes, I'm not surprised. Paul Tierney's got it spot on with the time added on. Elsewhere, as I said, Arsenal 1, Watford 2. Famous result for Watford this if they hang on. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 1. Burnley winning against Leicester in the game you're listening to. Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1. Sunderland Tottenham, the only goalless game. Swansea 2, Southampton 1. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff. But a goal kick to Leicester whilst all that was going on. And it could well be a key result for Burnley, considering that Swansea and Palace are winning at the bottom of the table, so it won't drag Burnley any closer to the foot of the table. This result, if they hang on and get 3 points, it will take them 11 points shy of 40 and take them winning 7 points of 36. I think 36 is more than enough for them to stay up, and it's great goals on the change, but Morgan has a head start, and so too does Kasper Schmeichel. We've played 1 minute of the year, not in 3. Burnley 1, Leicester 0. Sam Vokes after 88 minutes with which could be, dare I say it, the winning goal. Oh, Gray trying to add to it, but Wes Morgan, the captain, stops him. And do you know what? Leicester and Leicester's title defence is falling to pieces, and this would really put them in desperate trouble. They were 5 points above the relegation zone before the start of the game. Lose this, and they're at least 3 points above the relegation zone because Palace are winning and Watford are and Swansea are winning, and that really puts the pressure, believe it or not, on Leicester, and to a certain extent Middlesbrough as well. Schmeichel's up from the back for this long throw, level with the Burnley penalty area. Burnley now just a minute or so away from recording a famous long overdue victory against the Foxes. Long throw in from Fuchs, headed on, and the goalkeeper out of his ground, but Gray couldn't prop it. And then the ball is blocked away, so it will be a corner to Leicester, and it means Schmeichel will have to stay up. Costa has missed a penalty in the game at Anfield. Very rare occurrence in that one. Still 1-1 in that game. That was an 8 o'clock kickoff. We're coming to the end now. Last 40 seconds of time added on here at Turf Moor. Burnley 1, Leicester 0. Short corner, easily hooked away by Boyd. But it's only a throw to Leicester, level with the penalty area. There's still 30 seconds to go. Jamie Vardy now. He's told to get in the penalty area. Everyone back in the Burnley half now, exclusively. Schmeichel still forward towards Orizaki. Orizaki knocks it back to Fuchs. Fuchs with a cross, and Keane couldn't leave it to Heaton. I know he should have left it to Heaton, but it didn't matter in the end. We're inside the last 10 seconds of time added on. Sean Dyche wants referee to blow for time, and it's been curled away here. And if still Schmeichel's falling, it's over! Burnley have won again! Turf Moor is a haunted venue for visitors. And Burnley, the Clarets, the brilliant Clarets of Burnley can add Leicester to their list of scalps this season. Another crucial home win, and it takes them to 29 points now. And do you know what? Leicester had the more favourable decisions on the referee. Ranieri is absolutely hacked off because he feels that Vokes handled it, but it was an accidental handball, and Vokes never knew much about it. And he did what he does best, stick the ball in the back of the net, which Leicester failed to do for a whole 90 minutes tonight. But the majority of the decisions were given in Leicester's favour. They should have had not one, not two, but 3 penalties given against him in truth. And do you know what? Karma is a virtue, and the better team had won on the night. There's no doubt about it. Sam Vokes' goal 3 minutes from the end of normal time has sunk Leicester City, and it deserves to sink Leicester City. What a performance from the men in claret and blue. Sam Vokes. Leicester will claim there was controversy about it. Sean Dyche applauds the fans, walks off, but Leicester did have the bulk of the referee decision. Should have had at least 2 penalties given against them, and maybe justice was done when Vokes hooked the ball in with a winner 3 minutes from the end. He's gaining a reputation. Joey Barton shakes hands with the referee. But that was a game full of incident, plenty of drama. It was 0-0 for about 86 minutes, and then the winning goal, Michael Keane with a header, comes off Vokes' chest. I don't think he knows that knows much about it, to be fair. But even so, he hooks the ball in very well. And Q sees a pandemonium and delight around Turf Moor. And Burnley more than deserve their 3 points. Takes them, as I say, to 29 points now in the table. But let's just see what's happening elsewhere, because we've got some full times coming in now. Arsenal 1, Watford 2. They're deep into stoppage time there. Watford on for a victory there. Bournemouth have lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace now. That's a big result for Palace. Goals in that game from Scott Down and Christian Benteke. 2 minutes into stoppage time have won it. Have surely won the game. The Arsenal-Watford scorers, incidentally, will be. I've been to 5 minutes now. It won't be scored for Arsenal, but Cabot and Deeney. Cabot, of course, former Spurs player, which will make it doubly hard for Arsenal fans, I'm sure, to swallow with the goals there, which look like winning Watford the game there. Sam Vokes with the winner for Burnley in the last few seconds here at Turf Moor. In the game at the Riverside, it finished Middlesbrough 1, West Brom 1. Not a good result really for Middlesbrough, only a point gained when they really needed 3, to be fair. West Brom took the lead early on in the game, 6 minutes gone, Morrison scoring the first goal, and Negredo with the equalising goal from the penalty, and that's as good as it got really in that game. Arsenal-Watford is finished, and Watford have probably arguably produced the shock of the night, beating Arsene Wenger's men 2-1 and cue possibly a toxic atmosphere around the Emirates Stadium. In the game up at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 1, Sunderland 0, Tottenham 0. Not really much to write home about there. And the other final full-time score from the 7:45s tonight: Swansea 2, Southampton 1. Big result this for Swansea in the grand scheme of things. Alfie Morton put Swansea ahead after 38 minutes. Shed Long equalised after 57 for Southampton. And then Gylfi Sigurdsson with the winning goal 20 minutes from time has won Swansea a crucial 3 points. All in all. And with 10 minutes to go in the game at Anfield, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff, it's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. David Luiz with the goal for Chelsea after 24 minutes. Gigi Ronaldo with the equaliser for Liverpool after 57, but Diego Costa apparently has missed a penalty for Chelsea. Could that be a game changer? There's still a good 9 minutes to go, and Panini reckons he'll be watching Arsenal Fan TV tonight. As the crowd have now left at Turf Moor. I'm just watching highlights back of the game at the moment. So let's bring you the table. There is a match of the day on. If you want to watch highlights of all the Premier League games that have not been televised tonight, including this one, match of the day is on BBC tonight at quarter to 11 tonight. You want to stay up and watch Gary Lineker and the boys. Let's have a look at the Premier League table in more detail then, from the bottom downwards. So Hull are now bottom. They've still to play a game. They play at Manchester United tomorrow. They've got 16 points. Then comes Sunderland with the same amount of points, but a much better goal difference. Then Palace with 19 points, but Swansea they're still keeping that 3-point gap above the top zone, and now move level on points with Leicester, who now dropped to 16th. Middlesbrough move up to 15th, and all those 3 teams in 15th, 16th and 17th all have 21 points. And then Bournemouth, who dropped down to 14th, they're on 26. Watford move up to 13th on 27, and Southampton, West Ham and Stoke have all dropped down because Burnley have now moved to 9th, but Stoke and West Ham are still to play tomorrow night. West Brom then are next up on 33 points in 8th place. Then come Everton on 36, they play tomorrow. So too do Manchester United lying in 6th. So do Manchester City. They play West Ham in fact. And Manchester United play... they play Hull City. Liverpool at the moment, they are on 46 points, but their game's still to finish. And Arsenal dropped to 3rd, they're on 47 points. Spurs will overtake them with that draw, and they have a better goal difference. And Chelsea at the moment, as things stand, are on 56 points. But as I said, there's still 8 minutes to go at Anfield, and anything can happen. Well, we're coming to the end of this live stream. I hope you've enjoyed the games. The game we brought to you tonight. Only 1 goal, but there's been plenty of controversy, plenty of action, plenty of drama, and in the end, a late show from Burnley to move them now possibly 6, maybe 7 points away from Premier League survival. The bottom 3 at the moment look like being marooned at the bottom of that Premier League table. It's looking that increasingly like that now. But Burnley doing well in the FA Cup. They've got a fantastic draw in the last 16 of that, playing Lincoln City in a couple of weeks' time, and doing magnificently well in the Premier League and keeping that magnificent home record. Just 3 defeats to Swansea, Arsenal and Manchester City here all season long. Shows you how tough they are to play against on their own patch. And the winning goal, the corner came in from Scott Arfield, flick on by Keane, and Vokes stabbing it in from 3 yards out. Although Leicester were appealing there was a handball, but I think it was chest, and maybe some Vokes didn't, even if the ball did hit his hand, I don't think Sam Vokes would have known about it, to be quite perfectly honest. But he was allowed to stick the ball in the back of the net, and to be honest with you, Burnley didn't have the rub of the green with certain decisions. Maybe they were due one, and I think they've deserved it as well on the night. They put a lot more hard work in than Leicester, and Leicester really didn't do enough on the night to deserve anything. So Burnley's next 6 fixtures: Watford away, Chelsea at home, then 4 away games in succession against Hull, Swansea, Liverpool and Sunderland, and you think they could take positive points from that. It doesn't get any easier for Leicester, however. Home match with United and an away match with Swansea, 2 at home against Liverpool and Hull, and an away at Arsenal and West Ham. It doesn't get any easier than that, I'm afraid, for Leicester, who could well be in for a very long ride. 2 more lines to bring you before we leave you tonight. 2 signings made by Burnley today. Ashley Westwood from Aston Villa for an undisclosed fee, and they've broken the transfer record for Robbie Brady, signed from Norwich for £13 million. But that is where we leave you now here at Turf Moor. Thank you to Panini. He's praised me for the commentating. I hope to see you soon, Panini. Sam Vokes' winner has decided things here on a day where Burnley have broken their transfer record once again. From me, JB, John Stoddon, on a great night for Burnley. We're up to 29 points, 9th place in the league. It's good night and take care.